I mean, the NEXTEL All-Star Challenge, I mean, it can't get much bigger than that. I know. He's still at the tanning salon. I'll call him. Hey, Chris. Chris, man, where you at?
Hey, yeah, Jeff, I'm a little busy right now. But, you know, now that it's the NEXTEL Cup, I can do the show from anywhere. In fact, these things coming really clear. I can interview the drivers from the phone. Watch this. Hey, Junior, it's Chris, yeah. How do you like your chances tonight?
What is this, Myers? You think you're, what are you, Johnny Hollywood now? You can't do interviews in person anymore? You big time?
So, Jeff, what do you think?
Well, I guess it's all right. DW's been phoning it in for years.
Twilight time for the Stars as FX presents All-Star Night from Charlotte, North Carolina. In other sports, the All-Star event, a time to take it easy, kick back, relax, but not here, not tonight. Drivers telling us to expect guts racing and a brawl where everybody takes a few more risks than normal. And we salute the All-Stars and their crews. Tonight, 120 laps of high-speed racing and $1 million waiting at the end of the line for the winner at the end of the night. Feels like the Grammys and NASCAR all rolled into one. There's Lenny Kravitz and Jeff Gordon. Tonight on display, current points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. He'll suit up. He's won this All-Star race as a rookie. Won 3 times this season. Will he get number 4? Rusty Wallace, who won in '89, up against the wall and on the pole for the All-Star event tonight. And Jimmy Johnson, who is the defending champ. He is back for more as we welcome you to the Hollywood Hotel located at the infield of Lowe's Motor Speedway, and we welcome you to the NEXTEL pre-race show, coming to you from the place where America gathers every weekend for NASCAR. Nice to see you, and thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a good weekend, along with Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Hamlin. I'm Chris Myers. You guys psyched? This is a fun but intense race.
Well, it really is, and about 150,000 folks are going to come here tonight for this race. They put $94 million in the local economy on this one weekend alone. 41 million of us been here at the racetrack.
And a different kind of racing, so different strategy for the crew chiefs and their drivers.
Basically, right now, Chris, you just throw everything out the window and go as hard as you can for as quick as you can, because short races, basically heat races for a lot of money.
All right, this is the best of the best, right? Some names that you think we should keep an eye on tonight more than the rest?
Well, I think Jimmy Johnson, obviously. I mean, he's won this race, and Jeff Gordon. Hendrick Motorsports has such a great heritage here. Their cars always run well, and they've won a lot of races here. I'd keep my eye on those Hendrick cars.
But you also got to watch out for these guys as far as the crew chiefs are concerned. Guys like Jimmy Fennick, Chad Knaus, Greg Zipadelli. There's going to be a lot of strategy that goes in this race. Believe it or not, it may be short racing, but you've got to be on top of your game.
So it's an event night along with racing. Let's take a look at the field of the NEXTEL All-Star Challenge. That consists of drivers or teams who have won races through this year or last year, and past All-Star winners who are active and Cup champions active. But first, those on the outside looking in still have a chance to make the field. One driver will qualify by winning the All-Star Open, which is coming up in a few minutes. And there's something new this year. It's a different twist. For the first time, an additional driver makes the field because of the fans. Yes, you have a voice. They've been voting for a while. Still time to vote on NASCAR.com or using your NEXTEL phone. And so far, they're listed in alphabetical order. These are some of the drivers, the top 3 vote getters at the moment in alphabetical order. So we don't know exactly which one of these will land, but they must finish on the lead lap if they are to be advanced, and we'll keep an eye on that and unveil that just a little bit later on. So let's talk a little bit about the guy that maybe you would vote for.
Well, I like McMurray, but Dale Jr. is lobbying for Kerry, not John, by the way.
Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah, and 300,000 votes. I mean, that's incredible that there's that many people have that much interest in what's going on here this weekend.
So who would get your vote?
Right now, I'm almost like Darrell. Jamie McMurray is a guy I like the most right now because of the fact he's won here at Charlotte. He is a cool guy, and I think he needs to be in the All-Star race.
He says cool a lot, puts on a good show, and that's what this is about. By the way, I tried to, you were a write-in, DW, but they rejected on the internet when I sent your name in.
My car wouldn't get through tech.
You're sort of active, right? He's still active.
He's very active
He's
right
very
now,
active.
and I understand the fact about the car. I'm sorry, I'll do a better job next time.
Coming up on the NEXTEL pre-race show, we'll have a lot more to say. A big night of all-star racing, and we'll talk live with Jimmy Johnson as he gets ready to grow here on FX. Don't go away. Over 150,000 fans gathering here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the 20th All-Star Race, the best of the best. All but one of the races held at this racetrack just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We welcome you back to the NEXTEL pre-race show on a night where we salute the All-Stars. When it comes to All-Stars, the name Johnson is synonymous with the word all-star. On Tuesday, Randy Johnson pitching a perfect game for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Braves, the 17th perfect game in Major League history. Then on Thursday, NASCAR made history when they named NBA Hall of Famer Magic Johnson as the co-chair of the newly formed Executive Steering Committee for Diversity. Magic will help NASCAR continue to advance the involvement of minorities in the sport of stock car racing. And I guess from an outsider's view here, people looking saying, hey, why is a basketball guy coming into NASCAR? We know Magic has a lot of business savvy, but what can he bring?
Well, first of all, he's a great leader. And, if you're going to put something together and make it work, got to have a great leader. I was so impressed at the press conference with his knowledge of the sport and his vision for where he thought this program could go. And they needed somebody with that kind of image and that kind of insight. I think Magic is the perfect choice.
I think right now, Chris, what really impressed me was his common sense approach to the fact that, hey, look, we're not looking to get guys in the winner's lane, victory circle next week or whatever. It's a matter of giving people opportunities to excel in our sport. And I believe he's got a great game plan, and he's really going to be good for this.
He's a gamer. When he was younger, his dad, he said, took him to a stock car race, and he's enjoyed the sport ever since. So as we continue on this Johnson theme, right, Randy Johnson, Magic Johnson, tonight all eyes on Jimmy Johnson. He won the All-Star race last year and took home over $1 million.
Jimmy Johnson.
And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't speed into the wind. You don't pull a mask on an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim.
Joining us live from down on the track is Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy, thanks for being on our show. How you doing tonight? You all right?
Yeah, doing good. Ready to go win another $1 million.
You are the defending champ. So how do you, this is a fun event, right? And how do you balance the all-star fun part of it and then the intensity needed to come out the winner?
Well, really, it's like another weekend. I mean, I personally am very intense every weekend, give 100% every week, and it's nice to have a bigger prize than most weeks, to have $1 million on the line, but the pressure's the same, the intensity's the same. I guess at the end of the night, you look back, and if you had a bad night, you say, it's no big deal, there wasn't any points on the line, but right now, everybody has the pressure that you would at any other week.
Hey, Jimmy, this is DW. I love the chemistry that you and Chad have. I love the way he talks to you, encourages you. You have such a great relationship. How is that? That's got to be a real plus for you when you get into these races.
It is, and Chad and I have a great relationship, and we go through our ups and downs just like any other relationship that exists out there, and that's the beauty of it, because we both respect one another. We speak our minds. He does an incredible job at what he does, building race cars and working on race cars and being a team leader, and we have bonded very easily and have been able to accomplish a lot of great things, and I think we'll continue to do that in the sport for a long time.
Jimmy, this is Hammond. Now, coming back here to Lowe's and home track basically and trying to be the defending champion, did you guys put any extra effort into this weekend?
And you know how it is. You put extra effort into every week. I mean, it's not like there's anything more that's left. We did make sure that we brought a proven car and a race-winning car, the one that we won at Darlington with. But we want to win every race that we come to. And we do have some more motivation with it being Lowe's Motor Speedway. We want to do all that we can for all the employee owners that are a part of Lowe's and show off and do everything that we can here at our home track. We won 2 races out of the 3 here last year, and the worst we finished was 3rd out of all the racing that took place here at the Speedway. Hopefully we can have a clean sweep like Randy Johnson did throughout the whole year and get all the wins.
Thanks for your time, Jimmy. We'll talk to you later on tonight.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
All right, Jimmy Johnson joining us live, and of course the McDonald's Drive-Thru Pit Championship fueled by Powerade. Jimmy's crew will be on the spot tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team not only won the $20,000 for having the fastest time on pit road last week in Richmond, they also tightened their grip on first place in the season-long standings. And why are the pit crews more on the spot tonight, and how do they prepare for that?
I think one thing is because of the fact they're actually included in the program. For the first time, it's not only about the drivers. The team gets brought out and kind of like brought up to the spotlight and said, guys, it's your night to shine also.
But it is an all-star night, Darrell, and that means the driver is always the man, right?
It's 60-40 at best. It's got to be 60 for the 60-40. Yeah, that's what I say. And listen, who's got the controls?
I know he messed up last night coming down pit road.
Right, but the driver's he's like the quarterback.
You guys sound like just like when you won here back in '85. All right, we'll be back here on the Nextel pre-race show. Ryan Newman, one of those guys who got in as the wild card and won the event. So did Michael Waltrip, who has a busy weekend. We'll be back live here in a moment. FX, glad to have you with us on the Nextel pre-race show. Counting down to an all-star evening. Dave Blaney is on the pole for the Open. And remember, the winner of that event gets into the all-star race. Rusty Wallace will be the all-star, the pole sitter for the all-star race. Anheuser, the proud sponsor of the Anheuser Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Cup race. And in 11 races this season, 7 drivers have won pole awards. Ryan Newman and Casey Kane with 3 each. Anheuser-Busch congratulating the fastest qualifiers this season. Well, in this year's championship standings, we get a little break. This is not a points race, so it's a different kind of racing. But Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's popular here, who's been successful here, the points leader. But worth pointing out as we check out the points, we'll pick it back up at the 600 next weekend. Darrell, 8 times the winner of this All-Star event has gone on to win the points championship, including you back at 85.
Yeah, and what we got was momentum. And tonight's about the man, the money, and momentum. And the guy that leaves here with that man, money, momentum theme is going to carry that right on to the championship.
I think the motivation is the biggest thing right now. If you can get that momentum on your side, hey, you may come back and do like Jimmy Johnson did last week and win the 600 and go on and win that championship.
A guy with a lot of momentum. He's a hot driver. Jeff Gordon, he's won this event 3 times, most of any active drivers. He's standing by with our point man, Dick Bergman. Dick?
And I'm going to use one of your words to describe your performance in this night's activities. Amazing. Won the Open, and as Chris Myers just said, he has won the Big Show on 3 separate occasions. Once in a car so radical, NASCAR basically invited him to not bring it back. And a couple of years ago, he won in a backup car. He's even been in the lead and run out of gas. So what's going to happen tonight?
Well, basically all those things. I mean, that's the greatest thing about this All-Star event is you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to win, and it's not over until the checkered flag waves.
Is this a big deal for you? Do you get excited about this, or is this just another race?
No, I get pumped up for this race. I think all of us do. I think there's just a little bit of extra adrenaline. I think the fans bring it out in us. They get so fired up to be here. The flash bulbs are going off, and there's just definitely something different about this event. Maybe it's because it's not a points race. Maybe it's because there's $1 million on the line. Who knows? But I think all the drivers out there know how prestigious this event is and how bad they want to win it.
Indeed. Nobody wants to win it more than him. He's going to have to work for it. He starts 17th tonight. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Well, Rusty Wallace won the All-Star race in 1989. And, Rusty, you were so pumped up last night, as was your crew. What do you think heading into tonight's race?
Well, I feel really good about it. But you don't know until you start the race because we're racing at night and it's going to be a lot cooler. And I practiced yesterday in 100-degree weather. So we hope we might have made the right changes. We have loosened the car up, put a little more right rear spring in it, just some things like that. But, hey, we'll just have to get that first 40-lap segment knocked out, make some changes if we need be, and see what happens. But the team's pumped up. Whenever you can go out there and win some money for your team, that does a lot of cool things, Now,
I've seen some guys say, yeah, I want to race for that $1 million, and I've seen other guys say, I don't care, I just want the trophy, the bragging rights of winning this race. How about Rusty Wallace?
The bragging rights, I just want to win the thing. And I know if I win it, I will get the $1 million. So the number one thing is just win it, for the sponsors and for myself and for the team. And then we'll get the money, and that's it. I'm not driving every lap going, there's $1 million, I got to run hard, I got to take crazy chances. I'm going knowing it's a no-points race, and I know that I want to win the thing. There's a lot of media behind it, and it's going to be an exciting race.
Hey, good luck to you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, Steve, back in May of 2000, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won a short-track racing cup at Richmond, and then won $500,000 here at then called the Winston Jr. Is it about the money, because you've won this event before, or is it more about the pride of winning this event?
I think we've got the pride of winning it in the past. I think it's about the money now. It's $1 million, so it's pretty big deal to me. But it's a pretty awesome race, and it's great that it's here in Charlotte. They put on a great deal of excitement for the fans and for the drivers. So it winds up pretty tight, man. Right before that race starts, you could cut the tension with a knife.
Now, a big night, not only for you, but your brother may end up making this event. But I know the DMP, you've got a lot of family members from Kannapolis coming down. This is a big night for everybody involved in this sport because it's in Charlotte.
Yeah, a lot of your family gets around here since we live 30 minutes down the road. A lot of family. A lot of the employees that don't normally get to go to the races from DEI get to come out, and that's pretty important to them guys, too. So it's a great couple of weeks here, and we really enjoy it. It's awesome to be able to sleep in your own bed at night, and we just really going to kick back and enjoy ourselves while we're here. Hopefully we run good tonight. The big prize, of course, is if we don't get that $1 million, is trying to get that 600 trophy, but because we don't have one of those. But we can add $1 million to our pocket tonight. It'd be awesome.
He will roll off from 15th, one spot better than where Jimmy Johnson won the Winston, now called the NEXTEL All-Star Challenge 1 year ago. Chris?
All right, thanks, Matt and Junior. No driver lives closer to this track. Truly a home race, but it seems like everywhere you go, the Earnhardt name is popular. He's like a rock star.
Well, Dale Sr., he polarized this sport. And he was an icon.
Look at these junior fans.
Yeah, what Dale Jr. has done, Chris, is he's united all those fans behind that red number 8. And he has all the fans on his side.
Well, he's done the same thing almost like what Elvis Presley did as far as music's concerned, or what Tiger Woods has done for golf. He is an icon. I mean, that's all there is to it right now. When you say Dale Earnhardt Jr., everybody cheers.
Pop icon, a racing legend in waiting. We invited Dale Jr. to play our popular and much imitated game of choice, 10 laps with, because Dale is long on talent and short on first. Here he is. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Letterman or Leno?
Leno.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Short track or super speedway, I think.
Short track.
Okay. East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
Blonde or brunette?
Brunette.
Video games or playing cards?
Video games.
And I know you love video games. Fishing or hunting?
Hunting.
And then rap or rock?
Rock.
All right. And Bud or Bud Light?
Bud.
Okay, good. He wins. A case of Budweiser. Thanks for playing.
He who hesitates gets run over, and he didn't hesitate.
That was the lightning round with Junior. We actually did that under a caution. We're counting down to the big All-Star night, a night of All-Star racing on FX.
Well, we're here right now at the Nextel Fan Experience, and hey, this race is always about the fans, right? All about the fans. Okay, that's what it's all about this weekend. But hey, anybody want to race?
Yeah!
I think Tom and Steve, you ready?
Ready.
Let's go get it. Come on. Oh, by the way, I brought my driver.
No. All right, I'm ready to go. Nah, better not drive that car. Here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. He always wanted to ride. He thinks he can drive better than I can. He's always telling me that.
Shut up and drive.
Oh, yeah.
Go, take the green. Go.
The hell out of my way, Stuart. Clear. Oh, we're in trouble now. Oh, man. We're going backwards. Turn around. Not in the wall. I need a caution. Come on, debris. Debris everywhere. Look at that, Jeff. We won.
I know, Daryl, but this weekend it's not about the drivers. It's about the fans.
That was fun. I heard that somebody suggested NASCAR should park you after you're driving. I get because I care.
Tell him to work his hands, not his mouth.
Yeah, it was that extra baggage I had with me that was killing me.
A little role reversal from the good old days.
How was I going to drive? I couldn't even concentrate.
The Nextel Fan Experience, a great experience. Nice to see you guys mingling and
Yeah,
driving. Did you really win, or did you guys adjust that? Like,
what?
I'm just asking.
Did we win?
Yes,
We won.
You won.
That's all that matters.
And that's good enough. We'll continue here on the Nextel pre-race show. 22 All-Stars awaiting to see which two will join them in the Nextel All-Star Challenge, the Open winner and the fan vote driver. Stick around. It's a big night of racing here on FX. Nice to have you back with us at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Getting ready for a night of all-star racing. 30 laps in the Nextel Open. 90% of the racing crews live within 50 miles, Jeff Hammond, of Lowe's Motor Speedway.
I mean, right now you see a lot of guys right now with their kids down in the garage area. Basically, it's a family affair night.
25 drivers racing, trying to advance into the Nextel All-Star Challenge. Dave Blaney is on the pole. Let's go down trackside for tonight's opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time I'd ask you to please rise and remove your hats as Kenny Crosswhite, Motor Racing Outreach Chaplain, delivers tonight's invocation.
Father, we pause now to ask humbly for your presence with us this evening. Father, we ask your presence with our country, with our armed forces that fight for our freedom and the freedom of others. And Father, we ask for your presence with all involved in this great event here tonight in Charlotte. We ask for your protection as we place ourselves under your authority. And Father, we ask that you would help us to be thankful for all your provisions. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please remain standing and now welcome Charlotte Harvey as she performs God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Charlotte. Now let's welcome back our Grand Marshals and Nextel Direct Connect winners, Michael Cook, Danny Laney, and Robert Morris, for the most famous words in all motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The engines are fired for the Nextel Open. 30 laps total, first 20 and then 10. And of course, drivers who have advanced from here to go on and win it all. Michael Waltrip, Ryan Newman. Who will advance tonight? The heat is on. It's a little Saturday night fever. Winding down the Nextel pre-race show, FX welcoming you to a night of stars in the All-Star Open, followed by the Nextel All-Star Challenge. And a look at the starting grid at the lower portion of your screen. Let's go upstairs to the broadcast booth and the guys that will be calling the action all night. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy. Mike, nice to see the best of the best, but first we've got some whittling down to do.
Would you settle for 2 out of 3? Hi, everybody. As the grid scrolls by, we'll note 2 cars will drop to the rear. Hermie Sadler qualified the 02, then went to go run his Busch car at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. And so Kevin LePage will drive that car and start from the rear. Kirk Shelmerdine missed driver introduction, so he will also start from the rear. So first things first, Larry, the Nextel Open, 2 segments, 20 laps, and then 10 green flag laps. And you think the key to this race is going to be that caution flag break between segments. Why?
Yeah, I mean, it's a normal caution. They're going to run 20 laps, and then the caution's going to come out. And I think what happens on that caution, Mike, could be determined who wins this race and who don't win this race and transfers to the All-Star race, because you have all the options. You can come in pit road for 4 tires, you can come in for 2 tires, or you can stay out. But the bottom line is, this is the A main. One driver will transfer, the other 24 will go to their haulers and wait till next year.
All right, knowing what you know right now, do you stop on that caution?
I think if I've got a good handling race car, I'm going to stop and I'm going to put me 2 right side tires only.
Okay. Darrell Waltrip comes in and joins us, winner of NASCAR's first All-Star Night, the Open. For some drivers, this is an extended test session for next Saturday night's Coke 600 on Fox. But for the fellows who have a chance to race their way in for a chance to win $1 million, it can and has been done from this race.
Twice it's been done, and of course, you have that 30 laps of experience if you can get into the 90-lap race. You can run in there just on your car a little bit. Could be a huge advantage if you can win this thing and transfer over. That'd be exciting.
All right, let's go down to our NASCAR on Fox All-Star Pit Crew, headed up by Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. Larry McReynolds, I agree with you. After 20 laps, the decision to pit or not pit could well determine the winner of this event. And I've talked to a whole pile of crew chiefs, and most of them have told me 4 tires is the answer. Sterling Marlin said he wants that feel good. He wants that grip in the race car. But I'll remind everybody who watched the broadcast last week out of Richmond, Dale Earnhardt Jr. did not pit. Tony Stewart pitted, and fresh tires didn't win the race. So, take 2, take 4, take none. It's going to be one of the most interesting parts of the whole night, that little break after 20 laps. Matt Yoakum?
Dick, interesting could be an understatement, especially when you consider the quality of the cars in tonight's open field, starting out with 2 Bill Davis Dodges, 3 Chip Ganassi Racing Dodges, and even an Evernham Dodge, just to name a few. Now, when you talk to a number of crew chiefs, they all say, well, we know the chances are slim of progressing into the All-Star event, so we're looking at this more like a mini test session, but quietly they all say, we want a shot at that $1 million. to Steve Burns.
And Matt, talking about a powerful field, let's not forget Jeff Burton in that number 99. He has 17 Nextel Cup wins, all coming with that powerful Roush Racing team. He has been in 8 consecutive All-Star events. But Mike Joy, if he's going to make it to the big show tonight, he's going to have to do so from the 17th starting position.
Only one driver will transfer from the result of this race, and that's the winner. A second driver will be added to the All-Star field based on fan voting that is going on right now. Voting either from your Nextel phone or at NASCAR.com. As we get set to go. Earlier, Larry, you said the temperature on the asphalt in the pits was 140 degrees today.
In a very unique format. You heard Rusty Wallace talking about it in the pre-race. These guys had 2 practice sessions yesterday in the heat of the day, and just look at the track temperature here right now. And what that's going to do, that's going to make these cars have more grip, and the speeds are going to go up, and we're going to see sparks flying because they're going to be entering the corners so hard, bottoming out.
Yeah, you just don't slide around as much. That's the whole thing. It doesn't fix your race car, but it makes it feel a whole lot better.
So we'll race 20 laps, including caution laps if needed, and then throw a competition yellow on the field after they complete the 20th lap. Then they'll have the opportunity between segments to make pit stops, not a mandatory stop, and then race 10 green flag laps with one driver to transfer.
And another thing unique about this, all restarts will be double file. There will be no single file restarts.
Can you say Saturday night short track shootout?
Oh, baby. It's going to get right here in a minute. This is the heat race. Features coming up.
25 cars racing for one chance to win $1 million tonight.
And I look at our pole sitter, Dave Blaney, in that 23 car. I mean, what a run by those guys last night in qualifying. These guys only race about once a month, but every time they race, they're very competitive. 4 starts, they've had 3 top 15 finishes, and we've watched their pit crew. It's not like they race once a month. They're on top of their game. And just again, I think that pit stop, that caution, is going to be pivotal in the outcome of this race.
Cinderella story, Blaney on the pole with a local car dealer for a sponsor, up against some multi-million-dollar deals in this race, like the one right alongside Casey Mears, one of the most improved in the garage area this year, as you watch from the Wood Brothers Ford, the genuine parts and service Ford of Ricky Rudd. Carrying our Fox onboard camera and starting out 11.
Hey, what, we better keep a close watch on that guy starting outside the second row, Jeremy Mayfield, in that 19 car. He was very fast in practice. He's won this race twice and transferred to the All-Star race.
The calm before the storm. Right now,
DW, it's a sprint race, 30 laps, but please reach up there and pull them belts tight one more time.
Oh, tonight more than any other night. We're going to do it.
Green flag, green flag.
Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing.
Oh, here, didn't get up to speed, gets turned around, and we got all kinds of cars spinning. Kerry Earnhardt.
Oh, they're all going all to pieces.
It's about 10 cars or a dozen cars.
now as they came to the green, as they came to the line, something happened with the target number 41 of Casey Mears, and he got totally jacked up by the car that started fourth, Jeremy Mayfield, lifting the rear wheels of Mears' car off the ground. And behind that, everybody ran for cover and could find none.
Guys, I don't know. I'm trying to count cars. 25 cars started this race. I'm seeing about 13 or 14 that has pulled away with no damage.
Matt Yoakum, what happened?
Mike, he came on the radio and told Andy Graves and his crew chief Jimmy Elledge, when I started to go through the gears, it just all came apart. Transmission.
It all came apart all right.
Watch 77 Brendan Gaughan get Spencer, who got Rudd, who then got hit by Sauter. Earnhardt turned around, hit Burton. Got all that?
Yeah, and there goes Morgan Shepherd sliding down through there.
Yeah, I mean, when you got 12 and a half rows
41
of cars,
comes back and gets, looks like the
look
four
down
car.
here at the bottom. The two fellows who had to go to the tail end of the field for penalties made out.
Paid off.
Imagine that. Now fans are voting. Well, let's have another look here. That's in the middle of the pack.
Watch that 41 car. He bounces off the outside wall. Now watch him. He starts going backwards. Spencer sitting down there has no damage. The 41 backed into Spencer and knocked the fire out of his car.
There's how it all starts.
Yeah, and look at that. He's jacked up off the ground.
Turned around.
Here comes Rudd into the wall now. This 41 gets turned around again. He'll go backwards, and then he'll go across the track, and Spencer is sitting down here on the apron. See him up there in the 4 car. Now watch this.
Oh.
Bam. I think Spencer may have already had some minor damage, but that did him in.
And as I was saying a while ago, you got 12 and a half rows of cars. Your outside pole sitter has a problem like that. This is the results right here.
And you know, I've felt all along, Mike and Larry, that this was going to be one of those nights. And we didn't even get 100 yards past the start-finish line.
Watch the inside row go. Only 9 cars will get through this clean. Ricky Rudd is not one of them.
That's a hard lick, but we do have the safer barriers installed here now.
Now, remember what happened here 2 years ago? All the cars wrecked going into turn 1. Could we see backup cars?
Well, that's one of the neat things about stock car racing's All-Star Night. You never know exactly what's going to happen next. Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway and Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night, which begins with the NEXTEL Open. Aerial shots provided by Quaker State as you look at pit road, where you see that the cars that could make it back around are stopped. The wreckers have a lot of work to do, and so do the pit crews. Uniquely to the All-Star format, crews are allowed to work on their cars during this red flag period to clear the track. And after the green flag, we got about 50 feet before mayhem erupted behind Casey Mears, who lost a transmission. Dick Berggren?
Well, certainly one of the most disappointed drivers has got to be Kerry Earnhardt, who got a shot at a Richard Childress car here, but they've just discovered that there's water underneath the car. That means the radiator has failed, and that means that they have to change the radiator. So they can't work on him under this red, and Kerry Earnhardt surely is hoping it's going to be a very long red because it's going to take quite a while to change that radiator. But most important, Mike, this is an aero track, and with the nose of this car as badly beaten up as it is, his chances to win the race have diminished dramatically to about 0.
Not only that, Dick, but Kerry was shown in our pre-race as one of the top 3 in the voting to advance should he not be the winner. Remember, though, those rules require that the eligible driver with the highest votes advances, and to be eligible, you must finish the Open on the lead lap.
Yeah, and they might be able to change that radiator if they could get to it.
Dale Jr. looking on as we're under the red flag. Watch what happens. That target car, boy, it had a bullseye on it for the rest of this field.
And it just stopped. I mean, he was going, and all of a sudden it just stopped right in front of Jeremy Mayfield, and here comes the rest.
Boy, Sterling Marlin in that 40 car just threaded through there.
From the helicopter, you'll see how quickly this whole field just rushes together.
And it almost looks like that Casey Mears put on the brakes, but when the transmission goes, it probably did try to lock up.
And Mike, you talk about our top vote getters. We showed in the pre-race, Kerry Earnhardt, Kenny Schrader, Jamie McMurray was the top 3. These guys are Casey Mears, Ricky Rudd.
Gee, I guess they're okay.
It's like there's not a thing you can do about it now. But 2 of our 3 top vote getters were involved in that wreck, Kenny Schrader and Kerry Earnhardt. You see them working on Kerry's car right there.
And the word from NASCAR is that backup cars will not be permitted to be rolled out. The situation we had a couple of years ago was unique. The green flag waved with rain falling in turn 1, and a number of cars slid up the racetrack in that sudden shower and wrecked, and backup cars were permitted.
Of course, Jamie McMurray is leading the race, and he was one of the leading vote getters in the poll. Sterling Marlin's back there in 5th place. He was one of the leading vote getters. So those guys made it through and they got a chance just to win the race.
Not everybody was as happy as the drivers who were joking getting out of the ambulance for the mandatory trip into the care center. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Jimmy Spencer, we've just caught up with Jimmy Spencer, who was on his way to the garage. You're smiling. What a crash.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad crash. I guess somebody broke a transmission or something. That's the only thing that could happen on a start of the race. If not, there was a dumb idiot up there or whatever pushed somebody, but tore the 4 car pretty bad. Had a really good car. But that's the shortest race that I can ever remember being in. Shortest race. I don't think we went 1,000 feet, so not a good night. Not going to be in the NEXTEL event, and that sucks. And just sucks, man.
Saturday Night Racing.
And Spencer's seen a lot of it in his career. 3 cars being worked on pit road. Kerry Earnhardt, Johnny Sauter, and Jeremy Mayfield. Now let's go back and look at the voting so far, and there are the 3 leaders, all of whom are still in this race.
Kenny Schrader is back out on the grid. They was in their garage pit stall working on his car for a little bit.
Red flag in the NEXTEL Open. Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night just getting started.
Welcome back to Love's Motor Speedway on FX, spending your Saturday night with us, and a night of all-stars to a rocky start as we welcome you to our Visa race break. 11 cars involved in the incident, as Jimmy Spencer describing moments ago before he got 1,000 feet. And some of the drivers, there's Brendan Gaughan, the rookie, Casey Mears, involved in that wreck. Jeff Hamlin, let's work our way through this. It starts with Jimmy Spencer in the 4 car. And then after that, it's just with 25 cars starting the race, everybody trying to get out of everybody's way.
What happens here right now is you take a look, we get ready to go to the green, and when they drop the green flag, you can see Jimmy Spencer right there, the 4 car. He's right in behind here. He's trying to figure out where he's got. Boom, he gets punted by Brendan Gaughan. Then it comes along Kerry Earnhardt, the 99 car, your 21 car of Ricky Rudd. I mean, it's just total carnage all of a sudden.
Let's look at the front of the field.
The front of the field is really where the trigger occurred. When they drop the green flag, Casey Mears on the outside pole starts to go. The car doesn't move. He gets rear-ended by Jamie.
That's Jeremy Mayfield.
In 19. And you talk about somebody being lucky. Look at the 40 car Sterling Marlin. Cars going all around him. He misses it, but behind him, I mean, total chaos and a lot of carnage and a lot of guys right now going home early. Not even one lap, Chris.
No backup cars.
No backup cars.
Joy pointed out 20 laps here and then 10 laps. These are the drivers involved in the crash. Remember, 25 starting this race to work their way in to the All-Star Challenge later tonight. 11 guys here. In fact, and those not involved, a smaller number. As you see, that's what those are the drivers that did not have any involvement.
They got by clean. But the main thing about this right now is when you think about the fact this is not a point race, all these guys right now not involved, Kyle Petty, Kirk Shermerdine, Stanton Barrett, a lot of them not involved. You see some repair work right now going on the number 40 car of Sterling Marlin. I believe that Steve Burns has got some more information for us.
Yeah, Jeff, unfortunately, we've got a bunch of great drivers who had great race cars standing here just out of the care center. First off, Jeff Burton, how disappointing is this?
Well, it's really disappointing, for all of us. We all wanted to lay it on the line tonight and see what we could get done. And to not even get to turn 1 to find out what you had is disappointing. But we'll bring the roundup forward over here for the 600 and try to make it happen.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Now we'll check in with Casey Mears. And Casey, I guess the transmission just went away on you right from the start.
Yeah, we had a really good start. I felt pretty good about it. And as soon as I went to third, the transmission just blew up. So it's just a bad day for the Target Dodge. But, like I said, fortunately, it's not a points race. And unfortunately, it was a chance to get $1 million. So that's kind of disappointing. But and the guys put so much hard work in to run and get here. And come out like this isn't good. But, we couldn't help it.
All right, and Brendan Gaughan also. A short night for you, Brendan.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. Casey blew up a transmission, and we were just in the back in the wreckage. Nothing we could do. And like Casey said, it's kind of a bummer that the guys, we'd like to do this as a test for the Coca-Cola 600. Kodak Dodge been running good lately, and we want to try to keep that going. Would have been a good test session, but go Rusty and Ryan.
All right, thanks for your patience. Good luck next week.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's go to Chris.
All right, thanks, Steve. He's working his way down the line. Like 8 more drivers involved, but you heard him talk, Jeff Hammond, about the non-points issue, so therefore some crews may not repair their cars as quickly as they would or with the same pace they would in a normal race.
If they've got a lot of damage right now, Chris, there's no sense in going out there with a race car that you can't be competitive with. Now, a lot of the teams right now that are on pit road, you saw the teams working, trying to get fender clearance, thinking that their cars are not too bad, getting an opportunity to go back and make this race. And we don't need to forget, we still have the phone call and the vote that may get one of these guys advanced. So even if somebody wins this race, there's still going to be one guy getting that lucky call.
And 2 of the top 3 vote getters were involved in the wreck. So Jamie McMurray's the guy who came clean. Somebody involved, Ricky Rudd. I told you Steve Burns was working his way down the line. Let's go back down to Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Ricky, you've been in an awful lot of these all-star races, but a short night tonight.
Yeah, it really was. I don't think we made it hardly past the start-finish line. We really weren't sure what happened at the time. It was just mass confusion. I was happy the inside line where I was started to move really good, and saw there was something going on the outside line, but it just looked like everybody was checking up a little bit, like somebody spun their tires. The next thing I know, they start turning sideways and stuff. It was one of those deals that happened. It was over with so quick you don't really know what started it. I guess you need to go back and look at the tape on it.
I know it's a disappointing moment, but we did enjoy the lighter moment with the brawl coming out of the emergency vehicle.
Well, it was. I guess that's the only good thing we'll have tonight. That was a little bit of fun, and maybe we got you guys that time.
You definitely got us. Thanks, Ricky.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Right now, it looks like visions of 1989 when we're down there with Rusty's crew and Daryl's crew with us, as far as a little brawl and everything. But those guys were having fun, and I mean, that's basically making it, the best of a bad situation, Chris.
89 when Rusty Wallace went on to win the points championship.
That's right.
Darryl Walter became a good guy.
That's
again,
right. He became a good guy.
Spun him out. Log on to Visa.com or FoxSports.com to find out how to win Visa and Fox Sports Ultimate NASCAR experience at the Michigan race. That is in June. This has been a Visa race break, so a rocky start to the All-Star night here on FX, but the drivers are raring to go.
Jeremy Mayfield's crew hard at work under the red flag after a lap 1 crash in the NEXTEL Open on Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. Here's our NASCAR race menu brought to you by Wendy's Classic Hamburgers. It's better here. Kyle Busch has the pole, Regan Smith, Shane Meal, Jason Keller. The top 4 for the NASCAR Busch Series race at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Here on FX tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time. And next Sunday, a twilight night, Stock Car Racing's longest night, the Coca-Cola 600 from right here at Lowe's Motor Speedway on Fox. A lot of repair going on after this lap 1 crash. That's Kerry Earnhardt's car under repair as the sweepers work. A little bit of both ends there on Jeremy Mayfield. These type of chain reaction collisions, this one started with Casey Mears packing up the transmission from the outside pole. Darrell, you have little time to react. And as we saw with Jimmy Spencer, you got to look forward, and you've also got to look behind you.
Well, even without any circumstances like we had in this restart here, the restarts here are difficult. You have a tendency to spin the tires here, and of course that isn't what happened. But we've had a lot of problems here through the years with restarts.
Mears gets jacked up by the 19. Spencer gets turned sideways, tips Ricky Rudd into the wall.
This was not a restart. This was the start. So.
Now, Jimmy Spencer, he's made his whole career by being Mr. Excitement. Watch the number 4, by being aggressive. Here, he sees what's happening and he's cautious and pays the price.
It looks like he had a kind of an inkling at that outside line. There was a problem. He slowed down to try to avoid it and got hit from behind.
You know, Darryl, spotting for you in the Truck Series, we always talk about it, anticipating things like this happening on the start. But I think when you look at this race here, these guys know it's only 30 laps. And if you can get by someone before you get to turn 1 on the start of the race, then you're going to be ahead of the game. So it's a little harder to anticipate something like this happening in a short race.
Yeah, well, normally things like this happen mid-pack. You know, we always talk about the eye of the storm. Right. This happened on the front row, and that's how come so many cars got involved.
Well, let's go down to our Ford cutaway car in Jeff Hammond.
Well, Mike, we talked a minute ago about what might have happened to Casey Mears as far as the transmission is concerned. We're down at the cutaway car, and you can see our cutaway transmission. All the gears are turning very nicely all the way back down through the drive shaft, the rear end. That's what drives the race car. So when Casey Mears was coming up through the gears, what we believe happened is the main drive or one of these gears basically sheared, came apart, and what happened then, even though the main drive was turning, the rest of the drivetrain quit going, the car quit moving forward, and everybody ran in the back of his number 41 Target Dodge, triggering this big wreck right on the first lap.
Thanks, Jeff. They've refired the engine. Still, Kerry Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin's car under repair, and suddenly, drivers who started at the back like Andy Belmont, Kirk Shelmerdine, Kevin LePage, Andy Hillenberg, and Morgan Shepherd are contenders.
Yeah, and I believe that 19 car, Larry, will be okay if it doesn't come unwrapped.
I've been watching them repair that thing. They've done a good job. And the way the rules are, Mike, they could work on these cars on pit road under red flag. But when the race is ready to resume by the race director, you have to return back to pit road to move off at the field.
You can still vote at foxsports.com or NASCAR.com or from your Nextel phone. Now, this is not the order of the voting. It's alphabetically the top 3 vote getters. And there's one of them, Kerry Earnhardt. Remember, you must finish on the lead lap in this race to be eligible to transfer. There's our Ford breakaway car.
You can tell Hammond's been working on it. He's
definitely been working on it, hasn't he?
You know what NASCAR say about that? It's a work in progress.
That's one thing to call it.
Cars are on track on the pace lap. We're going racing here next. Set for the restart in the NEXTEL Open, officially 3 laps complete. Cautions do count in this first segment. Lenny Kravitz was the Grand Marshal, multi-Grammy Award winner, and a big car enthusiast. He owned a rare Olds 442 that got auctioned off on Speed Channel on Barrett-Jackson a couple of months ago, and he's a car guy.
I like car guys.
However, not everybody here knew who he was. We listened in.
I believe a couple of your new pit crew boys having the experience of a lifetime. They're down here chilling with Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, I don't close the deal, should I? I wanted to know if Lenny Kravitz was a country and western singer.
All I know is I bet Jamie McMurray would say, he's cool.
He's cool.
Oh, yeah, he's cool.
And you know what? I mean, we got a total. They come down, and of course they line up first and second.
Hey, Mr. Excitement's back.
Oh, yeah.
Back.
Then the fans love it.
Hey, you got to applaud the effort. You know, he did lose a couple of laps here, but you've got to applaud the effort because it would be easy to put that car in the truck and catch the early flight out of here, beat the traffic. But nope, Spencer's a racer.
Yeah, even with the car wrecked, you want to try to learn something about next week. If nothing else, you want to find out, well, I got a good shock package, I got a good spring package, something that you can get positive out of the night.
Jimmy is the first car 1 lap down or more, so he is eligible for the free pass, but he won't get it because he was involved in the caution.
And what I'm saying is, we get double line restarts when they have a caution. So instead of single file, they'll be coming around just like they started the race. No, hopefully they won't come around just like they started the race. But
Mike, we keep talking about rule exceptions. There is no free passes in these races tonight.
That's another good reason why he won't get it.
That's it. He's actually showing 2 laps down.
Why does my rule book only have 3 pages here?
And you can't.
DW tore that page out.
Oh,
yeah. You got mine in Hammond's rule book. Sorry about that.
Rules, we don't need no,
And if you notice, we mentioned at the beginning of the race, every restart will be double file restart. Makes it unique as well.
So Dave Blaney and Jamie McMurray in Dodges on the front row. Ward Burton in the 0, the Chevrolet. Jeff Green's 43 Dodge. Scott Wimmer and Derek Cope. Stanton Barrett and Kyle Petty. Carl Lowen and Andy Belmont will be the top 10 as they come down. They'll complete lap 5. It'll be 15 to go in this segment.
You cannot pass until you cross the start-finish line.
Almost had a problem again. Scott Wimmer had to dive out behind the Ward Burton's car there. Restarts here can be really treacherous. You see it all the time.
Jamie McMurray, that 42 car, so strong up there in the high groove, gets a good run off turn 2. He takes the lead down the backstretch.
Boy, and Ward got a heck of a shot off of turn 2 over there. He's going to go by Blaney.
In the back, Johnny Sauter 3 wide.
Whoa,
from the back.
Sauter down on the apron.
There he is, and at 30.
Remember, he was one of the cars involved in that accident as well.
You can't hesitate in this race. You got to go. You either, if you don't win, you go home. So you got to go for it.
Guys, this race paid almost $30,000 just to start this event.
Backstretch, Sauter to the inside. You see him again picking up 2 more spots from the back.
Actually, this race pays $48,000 to win and 38 for second, 34 for third. So it's not a bad paying 30-lap race.
Now, Sauter, Mayfield come up on traffic. They split it and head for turn 1. Schrader with them. And Marlin has caught that group. Oh, boy. Traffic right there.
Pull up behind Carl Long in the 46 car there.
Boy, and there comes Sterling down on the inside, and he is...
Oh, he just swept past Sauter.
He was motoring, but he ran out of space. Someone was in his space.
Tell you what, Carl Long, that 46 car, he's not just moving over and giving up to these guys right here.
All single file in front of this battle for 9th. Make that 8th place on back. Mayfield forges ahead of that group. And here comes Marlin in the 40.
Sterling's car looks really good. He gets, I think he gets some clear track here. He might be able to go somewhere.
Right now, this group is about 4.5 seconds behind our leader on the left-hand side of your screen there, Jamie McMurray in the 42 car.
Here's Matt.
Mike, if you look close, you can see they fixed the nose of Sterling Marlin's Dodge. But now, Lee McCall with so many good cars out, how does this change your strategy for that caution?
I don't know, man. This whole thing's a crapshoot anyway. So, it's unfortunate. We got our grill knocked in, and It's going to change a lot. Hopefully we'll get a caution here soon, and we'll try to trick them have a win here.
Well, he and Tony Glover on top of the Coors Light pit box have already been conspiring about what to do on that caution.
Harlan is in 9th place. Kyle Petty, Derek Cope side by side for 6th. That's the best battle on track right now. Cope on the high side. Petty takes the spot.
Jeremy right there with his taped up front end, and he's moving on pretty well too. He's got a pretty fast car even with damage.
Derek Cope in the 50 car lost 3 positions through turn 1 and 2 that time.
McMurray stepping away by 0.8 of a second over Ward Burton, making a full second now. Blaney 3rd, Jeff Green 4th, Scott Wimmer 5th. Mayfield now up to 6th with Sterling Marlin. They'll go to 20 laps, then a competition caution, optional pit stop, and 10 green laps to finish it off.
And that's, you know, when you're leading, you're a set and duck. Because if you pit, everybody stays out. If you stay out, everybody pits.
But you definitely, as the leader, you dictate the strategy. 12 laps into this first 20 laps. So these guys have a good feel now for what their race car did those first 10 laps, should they decide to make a pit stop and make adjustments for that final 10 laps.
And watching McMurray on the clock here, he's got the fastest car by about 1/10 or so over Ward Burton in 2nd place. Everybody from 2nd on back to about Sterling Marlin is about the same.
Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield back in 6th position in the 19 car. He's pretty much keeping tempo with Jamie McMurray. Problem is, he's 6.5 seconds behind, but he knows he has that caution coming to catch him back up.
If you joined us late, a green flag crash triggered by Casey Mears' blown transmission took Mears, Ricky Rudd, Brendan Gaughan, Scott Riggs, and Jeff Burton to the garage. So 20 cars contesting this first 20-lap segment. Steve?
And Mike, we're listening to Jamie McMurray talk to crew chief Donnie Wingo. He says, I'm tight in the middle. He said, just free me up when we stop. They're talking about taking a half a pound of air out of the left side tires and or making the track bar adjustment.
BW, we're sitting there listening to Jamie McMurray tell his crew chief what's wrong with his race car, but hey, you know, sometimes you see drivers that get out front like that, they'll start soft pedaling a little bit, trying to save a little bit so they don't have to stop, yet they're going to have good tires for that final 10 laps.
Yeah, I think his problem is, Jeff, is the 19 and the 40. I believe if you stayed out and they come and got tires, that could be big trouble for Jamie. So I don't know. Like I said, you're a set and duck. Whatever you do, everybody does the opposite.
But I agree with Jeff, DW. There's no reason in Jamie McMurray building up no huge lead on Ward Burton in the 0 car. Just run hard enough to stay out front because you have that caution coming.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with you guys, and I can hear you on the radio telling me that. But I want to drive the wheels off this thing because if I get in to the 90-lap race, into the All-Star race, that's the way I'm going to have to race. And I don't want to get in the next race and say, man, if I'd have driven it harder, I might have caught that.
Another good reason? That big star on the hood. The folks that put the money into that race car want to see it out front and as far as it can go. In fact, they want to see it in the All-Star race, not here in the Open.
Yeah, and this is not a race where you want to hold the driver back. Tonight, I mean, it's all about getting up on the wheel, driving as hard as it go every lap in whatever race you're in. So I know where y'all are coming from. You know, it's not doing you a lot of good, but it's doing you a lot of feel good.
Now, if I'm going to change 4 tires during that caution, my mind's made up. Yes, sir. Stand on it. Get all you can right here. That'll happen in about 3 laps. We'll get that caution.
If, by chance, McMurray wins this race and is also the highest fan vote car, then the second highest eligible driver would also advance.
As long as he's still on the lead lap. And that caution coming in 3 laps, that could be a big friend of Kerry Earnhardt because he's only about 6 seconds from going a lap down. We see Donnie Wingo, Jamie McMurray's crew chief. Right now, I'm telling you what's on his mind is what does he want to do when that caution flag comes out?
30.95 and 95 behind you.
That's Jamie's lap time and the lap time of the second place car.
That would be of Ward Burton in the 0 car, who's about 1 3/4 seconds behind him right now.
And they're pretty much breaking even on the racetrack. As a matter of fact, Ward might be even catching Jamie just a tad.
You're doing fine.
Ward Burton said yesterday in qualifying, he says, we're putting a lot of effort into tonight, but the real putting is toward the Coke 600 next Saturday night here at Lowe's Motor Speedway on Fox.
They will be getting the 20-lap signal when they get back around. He's going through turn 3 and 4 right now with Ward Burton only at 1.5 seconds behind him right now.
And something new to the All-Star race this year, you will not see the caution flag when he crosses the line at 20 laps.
33 and be good.
Because if the caution waved then, that would freeze the field. So they'll wait until the field completes the 20th lap and then issue the caution.
Did you hear what they said? Put the 33 a lap down. That takes him out of the deal. And he's just in front of Jamie. And matter of fact, he's going to go a lap down. So they're thinking Jamie wins the race and maybe Sterling gets in.
The caution's out, though, right now.
And we were told by race director David Hoots that unlike a normal caution flag where the field would freeze at the moment of caution, because this is a segmented race, they'll be scored as they cross the line at the 20th lap, not at the instant of caution at, say, 20 and a half laps. We'll be right back to sort it out. Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway, the NEXTEL Open. The winner and one driver voted by the fans will transfer into the All-Star race later tonight. We've run the first 20-lap segment. Now the teams have the option to pit under this caution, and we'll run 10 green flag laps to settle this.
I just believe, you know, Larry, if the 42 car would stay out, I believe everybody would stay out with him.
And as long as he had a few friends that stayed with him, he'd be in good shape.
Exactly, but you got to remember it's double foul restart. That's the other thing. So there's a lot of things you have to consider here. He's not going to stay out. He's coming down.
He's coming in, and everybody's following him.
All of his friends are coming with him.
But now, who's going to change 2? Who's going to change 4?
Because you do not keep your position going back out on the racetrack.
Come on down.
You get what you get. Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, let's see if the experience of crew chief Donnie Wingo wins here. Jamie McMurray talked about needing an air pressure adjustment. He was too free. Donnie said, no, let's not do that. I don't want to get you too free. 4 tires for Jamie McMurray. Matt?
Sterling Marlin, his teammates already in. They've got some tires on the wall, but they gave the signal. 2-tire change for Sterling Marlin, Dick.
Bobby Hamilton's Busch Series crew is servicing Dave Blaney, who will take 4 tires and some fuel. That to try to help a push that he has experienced with the race car. Blaney, one of the last out of pit road.
Sterling Marlin is the first out. He'll be second in the race. Kirk Shelmerdine did not pit. Tires are expensive, nor did Jimmy Spencer.
But the 40 car took 2 now.
That's right.
And
there's the race off pit road.
Everybody else took 4.
And there you see the time right there, reason being 2 tires. And the best I could tell, I watched all the top 6 or 7. He's the only car that changed just 2 right sides.
Now, I'm kidding about Kirk Shelmerdine. We all know that that is a very underfunded effort. He does not have a major sponsor, doesn't have a full season sponsor. He's running this race team out of his pocket. So I'm kidding about the tires, Kirk, and if need be, well, I'll chip in, help buy you some.
Now, if he stays on the racetrack and does not pit, that's going to really mess up the restart, because he'll be on pole, Sterling will be outside pole, and Jamie will be third behind the 72 car, and that could create some real problems. And man, Kerry Earnhardt's car is the Bass Pro Shop car is steaming.
He is still on the lead lap.
We'll come back, check on Kerry Earnhardt, and get ready for the restart. 10 green flag laps to go in the NEXTEL Open.
NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Racing on FX brought to you by Budweiser. It's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser. The race is on, and we're ready to get going once again here. Let's rejoin Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Getting set for the restart, it'll be 10 green flag laps. Now, Jimmy Spencer no longer up front because lap cars have to start at the rear, and Kirk Shelmerdine has voluntarily dropped to the back of the field. None of those caution laps counted, so the time Kerry Earnhardt spent in the pits will not count against him.
Pretty good move by the 72 car, Kurt, to go get out of the way, because he didn't pit and get tires, so that was a good move on his part.
And I definitely think he's using this as a test session in case he should get in and qualify for the Coca-Cola 600 next week.
If I was him, I'd get way back.
Just remember, these 10 laps, they will be 10 green flag laps.
And watch these restarts, folks, because you can spin the tires.
So the Ganassi teammates, Marlin and McMurray, bring the field down.
Look at Jeff Green in that 43 car. He pulls to the inside of Jeremy Mayfield. This is a battle for third, side by side.
Boy,
gets a good run on the bottom up to Jamie McMurray in the 42. He's going to battle him for second.
Yeah, McMurray he didn't get off the corner very good over there. Didn't get a real great restart. this is all good news for Sterling. Is those 2 tires, if he can hold them off for a few laps, might have a chance.
Ward Burton came into the pit second, but restarted back in the field. Why, Steve?
Mike, trouble on the right front tire where they made their pit stop. Tough break for Ward Burton. They just didn't get the job done here in the pit.
Had a chance to win it. Now he's 7th and having to battle back.
Yeah, I think what Sterling Marlin in the 40 car really hopes is that they'll go for 2 or 3 laps here, and those right side tire air pressures will catch up with the left side.
Dick Berger, and how about Kerry Earnhardt's car?
It's a hot one, Mike. He is overheating. He came into the pits. They had a long pit stop to try to pull some of that tape and sheet metal away from the radiator. Water temperature gauge 280 while he was here on pit road.
Johnny Sauter and Ward Burton got together, racing for 6th place. Coming off turn 4. No harm. Minor foul. Let's show it to you.
Ward just shoved up into Johnny. Come off that corner underneath of him. Car pushed and he got into him. Fortunately, just minor contact.
Blaney right behind them as they run 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And these guys know there's only 7 laps to go. Darrell, I'm impressed. Sterling is beating his teammate Jamie McMurray right now, a 10th a lap.
Dave Blaney's coming. He's gotten past Ward Burton, and in the backstretch goes after Johnny Sauter on the inside. The pole shooter's coming back.
Right now, though, I think Jamie McMurray just wants these laps to unfold here a little bit, because the 4 tires should prevail. Might take a lap or 2, as we've already seen.
That time he beat his teammate Sterling Marlin by a 10th, but right now he's a half a second behind Sterling Marlin leading this race.
But he seems to be coming, but his car looks tight off of 2 over there. He got up out of the groove, had to get out of the throttle just a tad, I'd say.
3rd place, Mayfield having a look under Jeff Green. Not that time, entering 3.
Yeah, Mayfield's car looks really good. I mean, he is fast, but he's having trouble getting by Jeff Green.
But I'm impressed with Jeff Green in this 43 car. The caution is out. The caution is out.
Backstretch, Kirk Shelmerdine in trouble. A shower of sparks.
Boy, he's hit the wall.
To the garage.
He's hit the wall hard.
The RacingUnderdog.com Chevy.
And trying to be smart, sat there, led the race, for a lap, falls to the rear on the restart, taking care of his stuff, and this is unfortunate.
As we went to caution, Kerry Earnhardt took his car to the garage area, so he will not have a chance to advance.
Oh boy, Kurt just lost it. Looks like he lost the right front tire.
Just went flat over, Darrell. And remember, he's one of the cars that did not change tires under that caution. And I'm sure this would have been the car that Kurt would have tried to come out here next week and qualify for the Coca-Cola 600. He actually just bought this car from Travis Carter.
Yeah, that's a serious damage, and that's unfortunate for him.
I'm not sure, Darrell, if Kirk has any cars beside that 1
He actually just bought a couple of cars from Travis Carter and a couple of cars from Robert Yates. They're not completely ready to go, but he did just was able to just purchase 3 or 4 cars.
That's what happens when you get down like that. You buy a couple of cars trying to get ahead. You wreck a couple of cars, you get behind again.
See Coach Joe Gibbs there waiting on his 2 boys to cut loose in the All-Star Challenge coming up here in just a little bit.
I love the coach. I can't wait to see what he's going to do with the Redskins.
You and about how many million others?
I don't know. I mean, he would be. He's already my hero. He'd be a bigger hero of mine if he turns them around.
Rick Zippidelli,
Doctor Who,
Chief, Doctor Who, Ronnie Crooks, the shock man, Robert Yates there in the shot. Everybody up on the haulers getting a good look. Dale Jarrett, and seeing what happens here as they get ready for the big one.
Well, they're trying to figure out what this racetrack is doing right now, because remember, as we talked earlier, all these teams got 2 45-minute practices yesterday in the heat of the day. No practice at night whatsoever in these conditions.
And these laps are not counting. These caution laps don't count. So I think this is probably good news for Jamie. He's back up there on Sterling's back bumper with 4 fresh tires. Should be able to make the pass.
Well, he'll be on the outside of Sterling because of the double file restart.
It's good news for Sterling because those worn tires will get a chance to cool down a bit here. We'll see.
Who knows it's good news for him? We'll have to find out.
Our Cook family of drivers spread out between the NEXTEL Open and the NEXTEL All-Star Challenge. So here's where they stand in the NEXTEL Cup points after 11 races, led by Tony Stewart 5th, His teammate Bobby Labonte 7th, Kevin Harvick 8th. Well, it's taken a while, but we're 24 of 30 laps complete in the NEXTEL Open. 6 laps to go. These caution laps do not count. Green flag next time by.
Just look at the track temperature right here. Come down about 7 degrees there in turn 1 and 2. Good 9 degrees. That means these speeds are just going to continue to get quicker and quicker.
In the garage, Kirk Shelmerdine, Kerry Earnhardt, Casey Mears, Ricky Rudd, Brendan Gaughan, Scott Riggs, and Jeff Burton.
Two things got to happen here. Jamie has got to anticipate this start a little bit better than he did last time. Sterling really got a jump on him. So he needs to really be even with Sterling and go to turn 1. If he is, I think he can clear him.
Whoa, look at Sterling tighten up on McMurray. Here we go.
Green flag.
Here we go. Good job, boys. I tell you, the fast car behind him there is that red car.
Jeremy Mayfield in that 19, he got a good restart. He hung right with Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. 6 laps to go. Jamie gets a good run just as he did at the beginning of the race. Off turn 2 on the high side, he takes the lead down the backstretch.
Stay with it.
5 Dodges lead this field, and they're 3 wide into turn 3.
Jeff Green in that 43 car, he knows what a win would mean for this operation.
Well, I tell you, that 19 car is all wrapped up with the tape, and it looks fast to me.
Sterling Marlin fights back on the inside of Jeff Green in the 43 for 3rd. 5 laps to go.
Sterling's got his hands full, though, with those 2 tires versus the 4.
That caution was not his friend.
No, he had a good lead, and I think that had a hard time chasing him down, but that's all for naught.
Johnny Sauter had a quick car, but got caught up on the outside on that restart. Now he's part of 4 cars under a blanket right there, entering turn 3. That is a knot of cars.
You know, I think that double line restart has a place in NEXTEL Cup racing. You ought to look at that for some exciting restarts.
It definitely makes for some excitement.
Wimmer edges Blaney with Sauter and Ward Burton. And they spread apart just a bit there, racing for 5th.
Whoa, here comes that 19 car. Look out, he got a real run off of 2.
Mayfield's right there on the back bumper of McMurray.
Boy, McMurray's got it. He's got a mirror full of
duct tape.
Yeah. That's what I say. If the wrapping doesn't come off at 19, he could be trouble.
But just remember, 20 laps ago, he was at the rear of the field with that car after making repairs. Kenny Francis in that crew.
Checkered flag in 3 laps.
Darrell, I believe if Jeremy goes by Jamie McMurray, it's going to have to be on the high side. But he's so strong, just like the last lap off turn 2. Gets a good run down the backstretch.
Jamie must be a little bit tight off the 2 over there.
Yeah, but what happens to the nose of that car if he unwraps that present and gets it out in clean air?
Hey, he got underneath him. He got him loose down there. 3 and 4, and they're touch. 2 laps to go. This time, side by side.
You know, I think, Mike, you might be right about the arrow on that 19 car, because Jamie was a little quicker down into the corner.
And here comes Sterling. It's a 3-horse race.
He likes these guys running side by side. He's right there with him. He gets a good run off, too.
He's going to go 3 wide down the back. No, he thinks better of it.
He's got 1 more lap to do it. McMurray edges ahead, and they'll see the white flag.
Whoa, they touched that time again. Oh,
Jamie gets sideways.
Baby,
holds on to it.
Hang on.
Sterling Marlin's up there. White flag.
Hang on to her, Jamie. Here comes Sterling.
McMurray saved it, but it gave Marlin a run on both of them, and Marlin takes the lead, trying to win his 4th NEXTEL Open.
Jamie carried it into turn 1 a little bit too hard, got up out of the groove, had to get out of the throttle.
He's going to try the inside down there. You block the inside. If he goes high, I'll let you know.
He's got a long way to go, though. He's behind him about 3 car lengths. Sterling just shot out of a rocket with 2 laps to go.
Looked like the truck race.
That one's yours.
Checkered flag in the air. Sterling Marlin wins the NEXTEL Open for the 4th time.
Boy, that was, for a race that started off a little ragged, it ended up exciting.
Darrell, how did Jamie McMurray save that car? That car was wrecked.
She had the hospital hop, but he hung on to her, I can tell you that. Watch this. He comes across the nose of the 19. The 19 shoves up, gets him loose, and boy, look at those hands in there. Whoa, baby, and he can't let out the gas because he knows those cats are all behind him.
That's about as close to being wrecked and not wrecked.
That is a great job of saving the car.
And you know what? My hat's off to Mayfield, because Mayfield could have nudged him with a bumper and turned him around, but instead, he gave McMurray the room to straighten it up.
And he was stuck in behind. Jamie couldn't go, and here comes Sterling.
Sterling says, I like it like this.
Actually, I don't think they touched.
I mean, that right there shows you how sideways he was with this aerial view.
I think that was just all aero. I think that Jeremy got that nose just close enough to the rear bumper that it got him loose.
And watch Sterling Marlin sees just what he hoped for.
Sterling's in the he's in the catbird seat, but watch the air. I mean, those cars did not touch. The 19 is right stuck in behind Jamie McMurray. He can't go. Sterling's got the line. Here he comes. Jamie tried to block Sterling, but he thought better of it.
Sterling was already too far up on his quarter panel.
Saved this baby once. I don't want to take that chance again.
So Sterling Marlin wins the Nextel Open. Kerry Earnhardt was in the garage, leaving it between Kenny Schrader and Jamie McMurray as the two highest remaining eligible vote getters. Who will make it into the All-Star race? Find out in driver introductions.
FX welcomes you back to Lowe's Motor Speedway. All stars under the lights. This is a Visa race break. Let's show you what happened on the opening lap. 11 cars involved in a mishap that in the 4-car Jimmy Spencer was part of.
Yeah, right there you see 41 car Casey Mears breaks the transmission, and Jeremy Mayfield gets in the back of him, and everything breaks loose. You see the 21 car, Ricky Rudd getting in the wall. I mean, it was just total chaos right there on lap 1.
But it is an all-star event, so these guys, veterans, know how to enjoy themselves. Even those that were out of it, those that were in it. Jamie McMurray on the restart, getting in position to win, but still some racing to go. Caution comes out.
At the end of that first segment right there, but right now we're getting ready to go back for the lead. And these are teammates right now. After the pit stop, there was Sterling Marlin taking the lead, but here comes Jeremy Mayfield on the inside of the 42 car, McMurray, and he takes the lead briefly, but then McMurray gets loose coming off the corner. Great save. But on the inside, look, here comes his teammate, the 40 car, Sterling Marlin. He takes the lead and takes the win.
The veteran Sterling Marlin, 13 times in the Nextel All-Star Challenge, has never won it, but winning the Open for the 4th time. And let's check in with him. Matt Yoakum is with Sterling.
Chris, the Open starts and ends with excitement. Sterling Marlin, 2 laps to go, third. Describe those final few wild laps.
Well, it's getting pretty wild, team. We didn't get a real good restart. Spun the tires, and Jamie had fresher tires and got me pinned down in 1 and got me a little bit loose. And I think I might even went back to 4th and got back by the 43. And once it got clear, we started gaining on them a little bit, and they got to racing side by side. And I said, this is what I want right here. And it looked like Jeremy was real loose up under Jamie, and Jamie's pinned him down and come up all forward and got together. And Jeremy turned sideways and got him, and Jamie's doing the death wiggle down the straightaway, the hospital hops, what I call it. But I was hoping he didn't come back across in front of me. He saved it and won the thing. But all the guys in Coors Light, Dodge done a great job, and come from the rear of this thing, run second twice. So hopefully we can come back and win this thing tonight.
And that was the first thing Lee McCall said after congratulating you. Okay, let's get focused. Let's get back on track. One more event, and that's the big money event.
Yeah, it is. It's car didn't drive really good on the deal. We got in that skirmish on the start and had to go to the back, had to fix the nose on it, and didn't drive real good. Put on 2 tires, and they adjusted our pressure, and it drove really good then. So we'll just play it by ear and see what happens here.
3 times he's come home second in the All-Star event. Hopefully tonight he hopes he can take home that big money check. Chris?
Thanks, Matt. $56,000 Sterling earns for this, and he'll move in. So now 23 drivers set as you look at the unofficial results from the Nextel Open. Still a driver to be voted in. Will Jamie McMurray get the necessary votes? Who else on the lead lap could qualify? That's ahead as we continue a night with the All-Stars at Lowe's Motor Speedway.